Afternoon everyone, here's our latest video update on Tropical Storm Bopha for this 29th of November. System continues to intensify as it moves westward across the Pacific Ocean. Its last located approximately 530 kilometers southwest of the islands of Chuuk. Maximum sustained winds have slightly increased to 85 kilometers per hour with gusts of up to 120 kilometers per hour according to JMA's latest analysis. The system is moving west-southwest, that's right, west-southwest at 15 kilometers per hour. So the system is actually losing a little bit of latitude in the past, at least in the past 12 hours. It has actually moved below 4 degrees north. Remember yesterday it was actually trudging along that 5-degree line. Now it has moved west-southwesterly into 4 degrees or so north of the equator. Bodes very bad news actually for parts of the Philippines and most importantly into Palau, as the system could impact the tiny island by this weekend. Now looking at the infrared image, the system continues to intensify out here. Still see that strong convective activity right around that storm center, and also seeing that good poleward outflow from the system. Again, very good, very favorable conditions out here. Weak wind shear and also that warm sea surface temperatures. Now looking at the infrared image itself, the system doesn't really look that impressive for a strong tropical storm. In fact, it might actually be a little worse compared to yesterday. However, inside this system, looking at the latest microwave image tells us a different story here. Looks like to us, some sort of microwave eye beginning to form out here. You can definitely see that curved banding, that tight banding on the microwave, indicative of the continued intensification, continued organization inside the storm structure. And thus what looks like a microwave eye to us would definitely be bad news for the folks out to the west. Seems the system continues to intensify under that favorable conditions and even make a run at that typhoon status, as we've said before. Could become category 1 by as early as tomorrow afternoon. To give you an idea on the location of the system in relation to the rest of the western Pacific, we have here the latest infrared satellite animation from the Naval Research Lab, and you can definitely see here Tropical Storm Bopha moving across the western Pacific. This is the island of Guam, and here we have Palau. Of course, you have here the Philippines. There's still lots of real estate for this system to travel across. Lots of warm waters out here. Again, the wind shear is forecast to remain light to moderate, helping the system and become a typhoon perhaps as early as tomorrow, and even become a category 3 typhoon as you move into the early part of next week. Now, as for the computer model forecasts, we are still seeing some differences as we move into next week long range forecast, although we are starting to see those models converge on a much better consensus now, which actually is pretty bad news for the folks out here in eastern Philippines, particularly across northern Mindanao and eastern Visayas. And this is where the computer models are converging right now. Their latest computer model forecast showing a track perhaps impacting parts of Visayas by as early as Tuesday. The timing would be around Tuesday into Wednesday. Now, more importantly, if you look at, well, Palau is very small out here on this map, but since the system has lost a little bit of latitude over the past 12 hours, the likelihood of it directly impacting Palau has increased. And looking at the official forecast here, beginning with the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, you can see the latest forecast track now putting Bopha just north, on the northern tip actually of Palau, perhaps by Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening, as a very strong category 2 typhoon, even a category 3 actually, correct myself there, impacting parts of Palau. And also even though the system will be passing south of Yap, they may still experience some tropical storm force winds. Actually, if you look at the National Weather Service forecast here, which is based on the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, you can see the system tracking westward and then turning slightly west-northwestward by Friday and Saturday, and again nearing the islands of Palau as you move into Sunday evening. The times here are local time, and also notice that the winds here are in miles per hour. But if you convert that, still make this a pretty strong category 3 typhoon. And you can also see the wind swath here being depicted on this map, and that would definitely put the entire island of Palau under the you can see the red shadings here would be the winds of 75 miles per hour, 64 knots or greater, which would be equivalent to a typhoon. Now as for Yap, system will be moving well south of that too, so typhoon force winds based on this forecast it isn't likely for Yap, but still chances for some tropical storm winds and also some rain showers and the threat of high waves are still definitely present for that state, and also the atolls in between these islands. Again, the timing here is perhaps Sunday afternoon, with the worst conditions lasting into Monday morning. Now the system will continue to move west-northwestward across the Philippine Sea, perhaps again entering. Should also mention, unfortunately we haven't really heard anything from PAGASA just yet because of the system still outside of the Philippine area of responsibility. We expect them to start giving out advisories by at the latest Monday morning. System crosses the 135 East Meridian. System enters the Philippine area of responsibility by that time. Hopefully PAGASA gives latest advisories and bulletins for the system, as it could definitely pose a threat for the Philippines. Actually, looking back at the Joint Typhoon Warning Center's forecast here, long range forecasts so we're moving into Monday and Tuesday, tracking this thing west-northwesterly, perhaps again impacting the islands of northern Mindanao or even into the parts of eastern Visayas, particularly out here in Samar and also Bicol region. Now the timing, extrapolating from this forecast, the timing would be around Tuesday evening or perhaps Wednesday morning if the system doesn't change its forward speed and movement. Now finally, we have the Japan Meteorological Agency's forecast. Nearly the same thing, although a little bit south compared to Joint Typhoon Warning Center, still forecasting Bopha to directly impact Palau, perhaps even brush the northern tip of that island. Same timing compared with the JTWC, a little bit slower. If we take a look at this map, it would be around Sunday evening or perhaps Monday morning is where the worst conditions will occur. As for the Philippines here, also a 5-day forecast from JMA, so just extrapolating this would put the system right into perhaps the islands of Samar and Leyte by Wednesday afternoon here as a very strong typhoon as well. JMA forecasting this to also become a typhoon the same time as JTWC is forecasting. So increasing agreement, which is pretty good news for us as we track this thing. Unfortunately, most of the forecasts are painting a pretty bad scenario, pretty grim scenario for Palau and also the eastern seaboard of the Philippines. So definitely prepare now, especially in Palau, and also if you have big plans out here in the Philippines as we move into the early part of next week. You might want to keep an eye out on this system as we move into, again, the timing would be around Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday, depending on the speed of this system. For Palau, the worst conditions would be between Sunday afternoon and into Monday morning. Now we still don't have any typhoon watches out for Palau, although the National Weather Service has given typhoon watch for Yap and also tropical storm warnings and tropical storm watches in some of the atolls scattered across the western Pacific here in the Micronesian islands. For information on those warnings, check out their website. So we have their link on our description page below. That concludes our video update for today. Continue to check out our website as well for the latest updates, text and videos for this developing system. Stay safe, guys.